Now I can hear you.
Perfect. All right.
Took a second for my system to catch up.
I'm not going to curse this time. Welcome to Hit or Miss. I'm Night Strike. Tonight I'm joined with Smeggy42, as always.
How's it going, everyone?
And then I'm joined by Nathan's Armory.
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight?
Now, I was hoping Sean would get in here, but Sean, he's AFK. And we're talking about his favorite thing tonight.
Which would be?
Politics and the government.
Oh, my word.
And he's missing it. And he loves that stuff. You know how I told him not to talk about last week because we're going to talk about it this week. And he's like, "Aw." And now he's AFK when, you know, we're talking about politics. You know, maybe his spider sense will tingle and he'll join us, but who knows. But tonight we're going to talk about something that really, really, really pissed me off. We talked about it on Match Chat last night a little bit. He didn't get too much into it because I guess either he was running low on time or he didn't want to get into the full conversation, I imagine. But it's, you know, a monumental shitstorm is what it is. Tonight we're going to talk about the whole fact that the feds have stopped processing the NICS appeal denial. They've denied NICS appeals, and they're not processing them anymore. And why that's bad. Because say you or I get into some money, we go and want to buy a couple guns that we've always wanted. Okay? You buy 2, 3 guns, you get denied. Even though you've not done anything, you don't have a record, but you get denied from your guns, and guess what? Bam, you can't appeal it, and you can't buy your guns. Does that sound fair to you? Doesn't sound fair to me.
There's a 3-day rule that if they don't come back, you get to receive the guns from the FFL. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, but there's also some FFLs choose not to observe that because that's up to the FFL.
And that's also, I believe you're talking about not someone that got a hold and then just never got back to him. You're talking about people that are like appealing a denial.
A denial. They've gotten denied and they don't know why.
And
they're not checking over denials?
Nope, they're not appealing denials. So basically, you get see if you or I go in and buy a gun now or 2 or 3 at the same time, you know, and get denied, we can't appeal that decision. It's done. That decision is final because they're not hearing it.
Well, hang on. You can appeal it. They're just not processing appeals at this moment because they're so backed up. And I know what you. Excuse me. Sorry. I believe I saw the article that you were referencing earlier. I don't know if you've posted out into the chat for everyone to see.
Yeah, I'll take the one
about it. Like the quote from the person, like, "Oh, I'm so backed up." Ha 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 ha. Like, dude.
Everyone that's listening, that's the one we're talking about. And while, yeah, I may be going overboard and going full tinfoil hat, and I apologize if I am, but it is call for some stop and looking because that's not, you know, while yes they're swarmed with all these requests, but at the same time, if they choose just never to process any more requests, that's also a problem. And I'm sorry.
Hold on. I just want to state this. Suddenly they're unable to, like, it sounds strange to me because I've looked at the NICS checks. Yes, number of NICS checks is increasing across the board because of this stuff, but it's not so bad that they wouldn't be backed up just a few days. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they're already used to like getting 9 million NICS checks a year right now. What if it jumped to 10? That wouldn't put them under. You know what I'm saying? Like, the influx can't be so bad that they came to a screeching halt.
Apparently that's what they're saying. that basically they're not processing any denial appeals. So that means it's gone to a halt. If they're not processing any, that may mean they're not even accepting any more appeals. We don't know. I don't think they've stated in this article.
I believe they are accepting the appeals. They just don't have anyone to go through them.
Are they
So
still?
the pile is just getting bigger and bigger as more people appeal. And I want to say this seems like one of them things where it's strategic in coming out with this type of information, and I believe it links to, Obama's thing a while back where he said he's going to hire more people and they're going to work 24 hours a day and blah, blah, blah. And I haven't figured it out yet, but there's something with that. This is connected.
And Nathan was saying this last night, and he just said it a little while ago. The fact that this, either Nathan or Matt that said this, that this happening so soon after Obama's town hall meeting, I don't want to get tinfoil hat, but it could spark. It might be attached to the whole his crusade on gun control this year. So, yeah, maybe I'm making a big stink about nothing, and that tends to happen. But I don't like the situation. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Hold on, I'm reading what's going on. Give me a second.
All right, catch up. If anyone out there in the chat room wants to join in, please just message me and I'll send you a link, all right?
Well, my thought is, I'm pretty busy, so I think I'm just not going to pay taxes this year because I'm kind of busy, so I shouldn't have to do it if I don't have the time,
Yeah, and then you'll have the IRS knocking on your door saying, "Hey, we're going to arrest you for not paying taxes. And oh, by the way, we're taking all your guns."
Well, then I'll tell the IRS, "Hey, since you're doing all this work, you want to go help out your, NICS check buddies? We should just have all the IRS people go over there and start processing appeals."
Right. That'll go over well. So, I don't know.
Unfortunately, that is kind of, that's kind of the power that, the executives have, whether it's, I don't know if it's Obama saying this or if it's just like the director of the FBI or whoever, but that's the type of power they have, is they have a certain amount of manpower and they get to tell them what to focus on and what to ignore.
Yeah, my dad not the other day, but a year or two ago, he goes, he's like 75, he's really smart, but he said something really dumb. He goes, the president doesn't actually have any real power. I looked at my dad and said, he's in charge of 400,000 government employees. What do you mean he doesn't have any power? He's in charge of 400,000 employees that he can redirect to do pretty much whatever he wants. That's an army of federal employees. And like right now, what I'm reading here is they took all the appeals people and stuck them on the normal NICS things for everyone else. So there's no appeal process now. So the question is now somebody's got to go and take a court case up to federal court to say, hey, my Second Amendment rights were denied me. I had no means to, to argue them through normal appeals. Now I have to go through the court to appeal my right.
Right.
Max, you still there? Well, he dropped off. But yeah, we shouldn't have to appeal a right. That's just...
Or if we did, okay, so well, it's a denial, so it's not a hold, so the 3-day hold thing doesn't apply. So yeah,
right.
you have no means to say, wait, why was I denied? What's your reason for it? Why are you denying my right? Because if they come back and go, oh, well, you have a felony, then that's one thing. But they come back and go, oh, it looks like you try to buy 3 guns in a week. But you're right. That's within his power, and he knows he's got a year left, and he's not worried about it. He's not going to be paraded and impeached in front of Congress for jacking with us, and that's exactly what this is. It's a hose job.
They're just looking for any little thing to make it more inconvenient to be a gun owner. That's why when they propose new hoops to jump through, we all, thump our chests and scream, because we know the more hoops you have to jump through, the later down the line they're going to make those hoops smaller and smaller so less people can jump through them. And then, like with this type of stuff, those be like, oh yeah, we're not processing anymore.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They're not processing. They also haven't said when they will start processing them again. And here's the point. That means that if they decide they don't like someone, in Texas or in Michigan buying, 3 or 4 guns, if, they came into money and they want to buy guns, and then they're legally allowed to have guns, if they want to go and deny that person just because, hey, we're going to start denying people, those people can file an appeal, but it won't get processed. And if it doesn't get processed, that means nothing will get done, and they won't be able to buy any more guns. And if they don't have any guns, this is their first purchase, and they get denied, and they have no idea why. Yeah, they can file, but they can't. The appeal isn't processed. So guess what? They can't buy a firearm until the government says so. And that's
Okay.
a violation of right.
That is a violation of right. It's totally it's a low down dirty thing to do, because it's basically like saw a movie once. They described it as the Chinese inspection. So some of these Chinese, the inspectors at the dock don't want you bringing in your boatload of cabbage, so they impound it for inspection, and they wait 30 days, and then they inspect it, and they go, your cabbage is all rotten. It's a hose job. It's, because they were denied, they're not going to get any ground with the media. The media is not going to be like, wait a second, these people were denied, but they weren't allowed to ask why they were denied and get it overruled for a mistake. They don't care about any of that.
No. And the problem, and the issue is that they don't care, period. It's the government. They're going to do what they want to do, regardless of whether the people want them to do it or not.
I'm wondering, now that they've come out publicly and said, yeah, we're not processing any appeals or whatever, I wonder if we can find some people that, got denied and they have an appeal, and if that's grounds for, like a lawsuit or something from one of the gun right peoples, one of the groups.
It is grounds for a lawsuit. Absolutely. If they're not processing an appeal that was made because they got denied for some bullshit reason, or someone who had the same name as them, that's right there. You've got a case, because they aren't processing the the application. But here's the thing: because they're not processing it, even though they have it, that means they are intentionally dragging their feet because they don't have enough manpower.
And of course, that'll be their justification. We're so overwhelmed, and we've asked for more manpower. We're trying. So it's a bunch of lawyer hoopty-doop that the president's playing. This is why this is what sucks about putting a guy like that, who's a dirty, low-down politician lawyer, in, because he knows how to screw up the system. Just the same way that Clinton sat there when he's being impeached going, can you define what sex is? Can you define the word it? He's a lawyer. He's going to sit there and just lawyer them all day long.
So we need to stop voting for lawyers. Granted, voting for CEOs is much better, but we don't have a lot of choices these days, which is the bad thing. If anyone has any questions.
If Hillary gets elected, because she's a lawyer, and if Hillary gets elected, you think Obama's screw job here is anything? She's going to figure out so many ways to screw us over that are borderline illegal. I mean, think about her old job where her husband and other people forced people to go to her law firm to do all this loan crap. They were doing stuff so illegal, but everyone was in bed with it. I don't know. It's amazing what they got away with back in the day.
And then there was the '94 assault weapon ban.
Well, that's different. Well, what they did before he became president was very, very, very illegal. And not on top of that, there's a lot of questions of why all the people involved with it, most of them have ended up dead or suicides. It's like weird. It's like, a lot of people that have killed themselves that used to be your business partners, like an abnormally large death count.
I don't know. If I was their business partner, I'd want to shoot myself too.
I was just gonna say, yeah, if you had to work with her every day of your life, you'd rethink some things also.
I mean, we've seen her in the debates. We've seen her on TV. If you had to deal with her on a daily basis, you would want to shoot yourself too. So, yeah, the thing is, we need to stop voting for Democrats, and all of them on right now that are running. Whoever gets it they're still gonna be bad because they apparently think they have something with the whole gun control route. I don't know why it is, but they think they have something. I'd say their something is hit or miss, just like our show, but I don't want to stretch that far.
I think that they're underneath the guys that they can continue to push a little and a little more and a little more and a little more, and will continue to put up with it. But at some point, a lot of us honest citizens, they will overstep a certain bound, and we'll go, wait a second, that's completely unconstitutional, and that's actually tyranny. And unfortunately, they've acquired themselves in these here United States over 1 million veterans who know what they're doing. In the past 15 years since 9/11, that's a dangerous thing to gamble on.
Hey, I want to read a quote here from the chat from Grand. When you are so backed up, you are full of shit. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Slow cooker tyranny. That's from DF2. Yes, that sounds about right. But things aren't getting any better, and I guess going and complaining about them on the internet or to other people with the same opinion isn't going to change anything. I mean, granted, we probably should go and join a local group or a national group to try and combat this. But remember, we can only do so much. Where to go now? I
got something, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost in thought right now, so please go ahead.
All right, this kind of switching the topics here a little bit. I hope you don't mind, but
I don't mind.
Okay, did you guys see the story of the person that went to the movie theater and ended up having a negligent discharge and hit the lady sitting in front of him?
Does this involve a popcorn box with a hole in the bottom?
I believe so. No. I posted on the main page of Gun Channels.
I heard about that today.
But it sounds to me like he wasn't carrying it in a holster. And apparently he may have drank a little bit before going to the movies. And basically he was messing around with it or something. The story's still goofy, but he ended up shooting, it hit the lady in front of her, and then he left, and then he ended up I don't know if he told his dad about it, but his dad called 911 an hour later, and the son turned himself in. And then he's had a couple conflicting stories already that he told detectives. One was that he dropped the gun and it went off, which, I think is probably a lie, because most guns don't go off when you drop them. But
what was he carrying? Did they tell you?
It didn't say in the article that I saw. It was a pretty small article, not a lot of facts, but.
Well, simply put, not enough people got shot for it to be any real interest to anyone here in the United States.
The media loves it because the thing I saw was talking about, more people with guns doesn't prevent shootings. In fact, sometimes it causes them, and because the guy had said that he was worried about a mass shooting at movie theaters. That's why he brought his gun with him. which is kind of the same line of thinking that a lot of us have. I know I've heard people in the past say that they will ignore a sign in a movie theater and carry anyways. The difference being is I think at least the people I talk to on here are the responsible type gun owners who carry all the time and have proper holsters and, aren't dumbasses. So it definitely, this dude sounds like he's just a dumbass. But
we're gonna make a plug for Nathan and say that he did this because he wasn't using a sheepdog leather holster.
If he had a sheepdog leather holster, this never would have happened. I totally agree. But yeah, I mean, idiot has a gun, probably carrying in his pocket, probably pulled it out to play with it in the dark, and he pulls the trigger. What an idiot!
Right, or he was readjusting it because it was, when you're sitting down, it was digging in his leg or something, and he was moving it or something. But I don't know. I guess I only bring it up to the thing saying, like, it is people like that make responsible concealed carry people look bad. And the other part of it, there was a line in there. They talked about that, and they just kind of talked about carrying in general. And they said something where there was like 29, people with concealed weapons permits that have been involved in mass shootings, and there have been 8 with permits that have stopped mass shootings. And it's just like, I don't believe their numbers, but that was some study that they had.
Yeah, we were talking about those studies earlier today, weren't we? The whole fact there's been 29 mass shootings last year, or some shit like that, right? Which I only remember like 1 or 2 last year.
Right, and that's where definitions are important, because when you think of a mass shooting, everyone thinks of, like, the famous, like, thing, one person, active shooter type of thing going in and trying to kill a bunch of people. But you tap it up a lot more.
You cut in and out. But yeah. I think a lot of those numbers are trumped up, and it's just, for lack of a better word, it's propaganda by the media for gun control. And they do it specifically just to get ratings and just to piss people off, so people will watch it and complain about it. At least my opinion. I don't think Smeggy is shoveling snow. I think Smeggy is in the snow.
So, yeah, okay, I read about shootings that occur all the time. Every article I ever read, Chicago Tribune, anything that makes national media.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just, anytime I go see, during the day, I'll pop on to Yahoo, which runs like these local stories. Anything. It's not like CNN. It's not like they run everything, anything of interest whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Anything anyone would want to read, and they have a ton of crap. So, you'll read some guy stopping a bank robber in Michigan, or something that happened in Florida that's interesting, or something happened with a gun in Chicago, the Chicago Tribune, something about how many people got shot this weekend. And so there's this conservative and liberal and just all this crap. They just want to interest everyone, right? So the benefit to this is I run across stories that are like, oh, hey, look, this made Yahoo News, and it's not like national, like they're not going to talk about it on CNN or MSNBC, but I read it anyway if it's gun-related. And I don't recall ever reading anything where a person with a concealed carry license has ever committed a mass shooting. And they're claiming it happened 20 times?
29.
29 times, really?
Yep, 29.
And see, that's the problem, is we have, the other side is inventing BS. I mean, the fact that our president could stand up there a month ago and say, we know that places where there are more guns, there's more gun, there's less gun laws, there's more gun violence. I'm sitting there going, well, the most gun laws are in Chicago. No, I'm sorry, the most gun laws are in places like California and New York.
California, New York, and New Jersey.
New York, New Jersey have the strongest gun laws since Chicago has now had their gun laws reduced. But those three cities are just as violent as any other place. D.C. has the harshest gun laws there are. Their death rate is amazing compared to the rest of the country. The only place that's worse than Washington, D.C. for gun murders is New Orleans. That's the only place is New Orleans that's worse than Washington, D.C. as a city. You know, Baltimore, other places where they have all these like guns not allowed stuff, they have horrible gun rate crimes. It has nothing to do with whether you can have a gun law there. It's if you have an inner city with gang problems is what it is.
You got gangs everywhere. It's not just inner cities. But
I'm aware. Hold on. I'm aware that you have gangs everywhere. But if you look at where the most shootings occur, it is where there's the most concentrated populations.
Yeah, but here's also the other thing. Those shootings that have occurred there with those gangs, that's all those guns are probably illegal. They don't not a single one of them is a licensed carrier.
Yeah, the licensed carriers, they're gang members. But again, it has nothing to do with us licensed carriers. We're not a problem, although they would like to try to make it so that we were. But you could stop selling every gun in the United States right now. People would still get them, just like they did in Paris, just like they do everywhere else. As long as there's a supply and demand, you know, I couldn't just build a wall and keep all the people out, you know, because I'd be like, how did that guy get back in and is putting my roof on? How did that happen? You know.
We totally need to build that wall. We need to build a wall.
Yeah, we live in a free country and a free society, which means we're going to have people crossing our borders. It's been happening for a couple hundred years. It's not going to stop as long as there's supply and demand. We live in a free country where we have tons of cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamines made. This stuff is brought up from Colombia and South America that's sold on our streets. Heroin's brought up here. As long as there's supply and demand, people will smuggle things into a free country. We're too big to block off every border and every boat and search everything. I'm sorry, supply and demand is a natural rule of law. I mean, it's a natural thing. It's a natural flow. You can't suppress it. It's impossible. The idea that you can stop guns in this country is ridiculous, or any country whatsoever.
Moon made a good point, saying when they said the 29 mass shootings, when they say mass, they mean 2 people.
Okay, so the question is are they even counting? Like, what if those 29 mass shootings was a cop shooting 2 people?
29 times.
And it happened 29 times in the United States. That they technically could be digging it up from that. They'd be like, well, this guy, he was a licensed carrier. Yeah, he's a cop, and he did a mass shooting. Yeah, he shot 2 perps who were armed. It's his job. You know, that's the type of crap that they put up there. Like in Chicago, when they look at all the homicides, they include the cops, the rightful the justified shoots from the cops. They include the justified shoots from the concealed carriers. If you look at those total number of murders going on in Chicago, there's a percentage of them. I don't know how much it is yet, but a certain number of them are people that it's good shoots. It's self-defense shoots. I read stories about it all the time now from Chicago where some guy went in to rob a place by gunpoint and a guy shot his ass dead. You know, happens all the time now. But they don't count that as they count that as a murder. He murdered him. No, he defended himself, and that guy was committing armed robbery. That's okay. The 2 guys that went in and attacked that liquor store, and the guy came down the staircase and shot them both to death. Those boys got killed. Those boys were doing armed robbery and beating a clerk.
Yeah, if you're a criminal and you have a gun illegally, and you're trying to rob somebody of their money or their property illegally, guess what? You need to be prepared to get shot by somebody because you're going to piss off the wrong person, and eventually your ass is going to get shot. You may or may not live after that. It's up to, your decisions. So don't do it if you're a criminal. Just don't. But, that's common sense. And, this is modern day America. There's no common sense.
DB is teaching all of us that when you're reading something and the thing is in blue, that's a link.
We would be lost without DB. Thank you, DB, for all of your help and tutelage.
And he posted a thing about the mass shootings committed by concealed carry people. Oh, actually, it's called Committed by Concealed Carry Killers. That's the name of the thing.
Yeah.
Killers.org. What a load of fucking burger frickles.
So we've got somebody else in here now. MK74. You there, MK74?
Yeah, I was just reading that article. I also noticed how they lowered mass shootings from 4 to 3 people for this.
And what's your take on it, man?
I was just reading how they lowered the number of mass shooting victims from 4 to 3. To get that number, and it's been since 2007, so there's a slight possibility.
Since 2007.
Oh, 29 since 2007? I thought it was like 29 last year.
Yeah, and 3 people, not 4 or more.
Yeah, 3 people. And I don't know, is it 3 people killed or just 3 people
Involved.
shot?
3 people shot, and it's supposed to be 4 or more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The go all over the place. Yeah, and then the other thing, which I've seen before too, and that the article that was talking about that was comparing 29 whatever mass shooting things compared to 8 where mass shootings have been stopped by concealed carry permit, but you don't know that it's only been 8 because, for one, it's normally not a mass shooting if someone stops it early enough. So you could almost take the numbers of every single justifiable homicide and say, well, that could have been a mass shooting until the guy was shot. Like someone comes into a store and then ends up getting shot. Well, how do you know he wasn't going to kill every single person inside that store? That could have been a mass shooting, but that will never get added up as, concealed carry permit stops a mass shooting.
Because the mass shooting hasn't happened, because it stopped before it started.
There was a great article in, I believe it was Handgunner, it was by Masad Ayub, and it was talking just about that. And yes, it is kind of anecdotal. I don't know if anyone's added it all up, but he listed, I forget, maybe like 6 or 7 cases of people that you could pretty much tell the motives of the killer was to become a mass shooter, but someone with a concealed pistol license stopped them before they could carry out their actions.
He used 8 cases, and that's the article was replying to.
Wow, that's a crock of bullshit.
So just because he came up with 8 doesn't mean there's only 8. That's just the 8 that was listed.
Yeah, but that's what was basically a reply to that article.
And that's part of the problem with these numbers. Everyone, it's easy to make up your own numbers and back up or whatever, but a lot of this stuff is anecdotal. And unfortunately, until you can add up every single story, no one's really out there doing that, looking at every single local newspaper and tallying up all of the stories and then, getting a number and saying this is how many times, like the self-defense thing. No one really knows how many times guns are used as self-defense, whether home or as a concealed permit or whatever. And a lot of that's because most of the time the trigger's never pulled, so it never really shows up. You'd have to dig through like every single police report to see, oh yeah, I pulled the gun, the guy ran away. And then a lot of times people won't even report it because they figure, oh, the thing's over, I'm just going to go home. Which you should report if you used your gun in self-defense, even if you didn't pull the trigger. But no one even gets every single one of those police reports and adds them all up, because that's an amazing amount of work to do all that. And I don't even know how you'd get access to all of that for the entire country.
Oh, DB just posted something in the chat, and Breaking news. Ammon Bundy just got arrested. The protest leader in Oregon. Apparently, they just caught him. So.
Well, they arrested a couple of the people. Was that last week? Because they were talking about. Yeah, I think it was just before the weekend on Friday. Because they were going to go into town and hold a press conference, and then they ended up canceling the press conference. They went into town anyways, and they got arrested when they got in there. And
so I get the good time. I guess the good times when that abandoned station is out because they arrested the leader. Party's over. Let's go somewhere else.
Did they find dildos? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I heard they got sent dildos and lube. So I hope it doesn't hurt too much.
They were asking for supplies, and then a bunch of people, sent them sex toys and things.
Yeah. What else?
Hey, what about that non-active shooter in San Diego today?
Yeah, I heard about that too. The whole Navy thing, right?
Yeah, where they had one report and it's probably somebody just dropped something and thought it was the shooter.
Yeah, there was a whole thing at a naval. I think it was a naval hospital. Everyone was on high alert because apparently there was an active shooter. And then a few hours later, it's just never mind. Go about your business. Move along. Nothing to see here. Move along. No information. No nothing. So.
So
Facebook.
One at a time, guys.
No, I want to talk when everyone else talks. I was just asking, so nothing new of that came out, because last I saw, there was really no information.
Yeah, they just posted one thing on Facebook, and that's it.
Yeah, I heard 3 bangs in the cellar. Someone might be out there with a gun.
Could have been someone with, the oxygen tank downstairs. Who knows? Ugh.
Kind of from their Facebook post, it said, possible active shooter in building whatever, and then it said, run, hide, or fight. And I just picture him saying it like that, yeah, you should run or hide or fight, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Do whatever you want.
Wait, it's a naval hospital. Aren't there any armed guards there? Seriously?
Only at the gate.
They could send.
Makes me even more disappointed.
Maybe if the shooter goes next to a fountain, they could have a little boat floating in it. Remote-controlled thing that shoots missiles at them.
Missiles. Because missiles and rockets solve everything.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, the Navy solves all the world's problems. We already know that.
Apparently, there was no shooting at the Naval Medical Center today. So there's the latest update. There was no shooting. That's all they said.
Don't focus on the man behind the curtain. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what they're saying either. I don't even think they know. That's the sad thing. When they don't even know what's going on, that's when you need to worry. Anyways, G-Webs, how you doing?
Not bad.
Awesome. How's the AK buyer guide program going?
I haven't looked in a while, but going pretty good, I think.
Good.
For those who don't know, G-Webs is hosting a thing on Indiegogo. Just look him up or whatever. Maybe he's got a link somewhere, probably everywhere. And he's raising money to make an awesome, super-duper, amazing AK website, and you all should give him all of your money.
Exactly.
Great promo.
Well, we do what we can. But I think we're running a little down to the wire, and I'm running out of steam. So if it's all right with you guys, I'd like to do a patch.
No, you're not allowed to do a patch.
Okay, you're doing it. You just
Gotcha.
volunteered.
Somebody's blowing out the microphone somewhere.
We only have
Smack's phone.
there are 2 people watching us. How can I pick a patch?
We've got 9 people watching us. We got a whole bunch of people on our channel, so just pick someone.
I think it's just looks like you're getting like wicked feedback.
No, it's Meg's phone.
No, because it was happening when I was muted too. I thought it was me for a minute also, but
It's gotta be you.
okay, fine, maybe it's me.
Okay, I think it's. Are you just on your phone? It must be going right back into the microphone or something.
It probably is. Smegs, pick someone.
I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. Okay, next person that says, "Hey, I want a patch," you win. So over on Gun. Who's got the fastest typing fingers?
Watch, no one's typing. Oh, wait, Robbie said he wanted it, so I guess we're gonna give it to Robbie tonight.
Well, there you go.
Robbie, you want a patch, so go to gunchannels.com/DPG and sign up for patch. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up or talk about this evening before we decide to call it and call it early? Anything at all?
Can't think of anything.
All right. I know we're closing a little early, but thanks, guys, for showing up, and those of you guys that joined in. G-Webs, thank you for coming in and taking part just for a few minutes.
Sure, thanks for throwing out a link.
Hey, MK74, Tom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, and if you want to come back and continue being part of Hit or Miss, go and just let me know, and I'll send you a link, all right?
Okay.
And Nathan's probably off working on a holster, so go to sheepdogleather.com and buy a holster for him. The site's working. And Smeggy. Well, Smeggy just dropped off, so he'll probably be back. I'll wait a minute, see if he comes back. I don't think he's going to come back. He's got his... Oh, wait, there he is. Smegs.
Are we still on air? I want to plug something.
All right, go ahead. You do it right now.
Okay. Everyone go over to my Instagram. It's Smeggy42. And go to the video of We Like Shooting. And it shows Sean falling down the stairs. And it's really funny. And, favorite it and share it with people.
What was the story with that? I guess I missed that show. We were trying to set up ours, I think.
Basically, he just was walking down the steps and he kind of tripped, but you could see him in the mirror, just in the background. So, I don't know, it's just a funny little thing. It's only 2 seconds, but...
All right. I'm going to go check that right now.
I thought it would get a lot more traction than it did, and I'm a little upset because I thought it was funny.
I think the problem is you don't have enough exposure.
Well, dude, I post up some stupid shit and get 20 people liking it, so I don't know why that one didn't get it.
Yeah, man, but that's just 20 people. You need to get 100 people. You need someone who's got millions of subscribers just to say, check this out, this is hilarious shit.
Well, I agree. I was hoping We Like Shooting would repost it. That'd be amazing.
All right. Well, now that you've got your plug done, Smegs, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry if my phone's messed up. Am I sounding better now that it kicked me out and I joined back in?
Yeah, you sound much better.
Oh yeah, very clear now.
Hey,
Oh,
did I
okay.
miss free plug minute?
I plugged for you.
Thank you. Hold on,
I
I got
plugged for you, but if you want to plug again, go for it. You know.
No, I got to finish putting the kids to bed. I'll be right back.
All right. But yes, I'll plug him again just real quick. Nathan, he is the creator of sheepdogleather.com. He makes leather holsters, belts. He also makes magazine pouches. So if you need gun-related products made out of leather, he can do the job for you. So go to sheepdogleather.com and buy a holster, buy a belt, buy a mag pouch. He's even starting to do shoulder holsters too if you need a shoulder holster. So go there, give him a plug, buy some stuff from him, enjoy. All right.
Tell him you heard about it on Hit or Miss, and he'll give you a 0% discount.
Well, we might be able to do something for him. But mention Hit or Miss if you do go and buy something, and maybe we can give you a discount or something. But anyways, I'm Night Strike, and this was Hit or Miss. Thank you for listening.